All right, we're going to record this part. Go. I'll send this out. So I'll send out these factors out at the end too. So don't feel like you got to take a gazillion notes. So they'll feel free to, but I'll send this one out after.
Yeah, cool. So I think the factors that, given the experience, given the time, fighting the good fight with Google, to consider as you're thinking about generative AI is going to be your basic on-page optimization is always important. It's going to be your page titles, your headers, your keyword relevance. You want to make sure that that content is good to start, and well optimized. But then other factors that you can think about from a structure perspective are proper header usage throughout the copy. So not just that H1 that you want to make sure is clear and detailed and descriptive of the actual page of content, but as you break up the content down the page using subheaders, those subheaders can be a great way to create more bite-sized content that can be easily pulled out and refactored into a search result like this. Another thing that you see a lot that show up in featured snippets, but also you can see here that they show up is ordered lists and unordered lists from a development perspective, or bullet points and numbered lists. So that inherently is going to be something that can be easily pulled out. And you'll see a lot of times sites will have number 1, bunch of content, number 2, bunch of content. And then your featured snippets will just pull out the number 1, the number 2, the number 3. So ordering lists and inherently gives you something that's a little bit more bite-sized, easy to pull out, easy to understand. From there, it's going to be a factor of making sure that there are quality images that can be pulled off the page for representation. That can be done through open graph protocols, and that can also be done through setting a primary image for these pages, but making sure that your images play well in search. So rich content, which always gets downplayed in SEO because Google can't technically see it. They want to know it's there, and it's important that it looks good and that when it does get pulled into a result like this, that it's clear what a user should expect. The other piece would be structured data, which is just another set of code, preferably through JSON LD is what it's called, but really the idea of emphasizing the different elements of the page. So you just want to make sure that when you create a page, if it's 1,000 words or 100 words, that you are emphasizing the different elements on the page, whether Google can see them or not, to reinforce what those pages are about, what the content is about, and make sure that Google has all the contextual clues, right? If I create a page about different health conditions and I include this same list of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, the important thing is that that page stands up as a page about kidney disease, right? And that's going to be through content relevance. That's going to be through proper header usage. But really, there's a back to basics element of this, but then there's also an element of how do you structure your content, how do you emphasize components of your content that certainly feed into search results, but are also better for the user. I think with the prevalence of TikTok, I think attention spans are like 5 seconds now. So no one really reads the long pages of content anymore. So breaking that content up doesn't just benefit Google, right? We don't want to just do things because it's going to help us in Google, but it does benefit the user as well to have skimmable, easy to follow content with those technical elements, just to send the proper signals to Google that they can trust you if they send a user to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard.